sorry I'm late. I'm trying. It has been craziness for me this week, and I am trying to get into the swing of things, but it's just not happening. Let me get the channel pulled up here on my other screen. I'm sorry. I'm coming. Oh my goodness. I can't even see your comments yet. I'm so sorry. All right, here we go. I can see you guys now. Who do we have here? Hello, Nursing Our Travel Bug. Hi, Bob's Adventure on Wheels. BeYonbeauty Travels, hello. Uncle Lisa's Production, hello. Oh, Rhonda, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Papa Drew. We need to have a talk about the thumbnails. Shanna Craft, Maggie2263, Avenger RV Adventure, Our Destination, thank you for the raid. Happy Place Camping, Aaron Jemison, hello, hello. Van Life with Gina Payne, hey. Linda Barker, hello. Daydream About Nice Things, hello. Hello, hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm running behind. I gotta put the lip gloss on. So, true crime, here we go. Here's my story of how I got into this today. I was watching a, wow, that didn't help the situation. Just ignore this thing on top of my head. I was watching a YouTube video today. That light. We're just going to have me blown out today. I'm sorry. I was watching a YouTube video today, and it was all about Aileen, and I've seen stuff about her before, but this video I was watching was more about her childhood. And so then I kind of did a little bit of digging and was like, man, I really need to learn more about her upbringing, because I knew she was the first female serial killer. I knew she had killed 7 people, but I didn't know her past, which kind of, it doesn't justify, but it explains how she ended up where she ended up, if you know what I mean. Bulldog is behind you. You look great, lady. Oh, thank you, Van Life Gina Payne. Hey, Tommy Travels. You love that thing on top of my head? That's all my hair just piled up there. Okay, so let's talk about Aileen Wuorno's childhood and her parents. We're going to start with her parents to kind of get a better understanding of what the heck happened. So Aileen Wuorno is the first female serial killer, and her parents, hey, Johnny's Journey and Hitch Up and Tow, her parents were, the mom and the dad got married when they were very, very young. The mom, her parents didn't want her around the dad, and she went around him anyway, then ended up pregnant, and they got married. And she was pregnant with a son, so Aileen's brother, okay? Now, the dad was known as the bad boy type and a little bit off. He ended up going to prison for the R word. Hope everybody's following me on that. And when he went to prison for the R word, they already had a son, and the mom was pregnant with Aileen. The mom runs off and takes this chance to escape from the guy she was married to, Aileen's dad. And eventually she decides she can't handle the children because she's also mentally unwell. So you've got a father mentally unwell, a mother mentally unwell. They had children together. The mentally unstable mother, Aileen's mother, can't take care of the kids anymore and drops them off at their grandparents' house. The grandparents have 2 other children, I believe, a son and a daughter, and they go ahead and adopt Aileen and her brother. So Aileen and her brother have now been adopted by their grandparents, and they start to settle in, and they call Grandpa Dad, they call Grandma Mom, which in and of itself is kind of confusing and heartbreaking that that's where they ended up. They don't really know their dad. Their mom ran off and left them. So we're already starting to get to a place where her life's really, really hard already. So by the time she's 11, she is having intercourse with her brother. Her and her brother were very, very close. They were the best of friends. They fought like siblings, but anybody else that would bother them, those two would gang up on. There wasn't going to be nobody messing with either one of them. They were each other's protectors. Being young, I don't think they understood what they were doing, but they were doing it. There were children in the neighborhood who witnessed it happening. It was pretty disturbing. The reason that Aileen, at 11 years old, already knew about sex, her brother was older, so he kind of knew things. But the reason that Aileen knew about it was her grandfather had been molesting her. This is at 11 years old. This is insane. So, by the time she was 15, she had realized that from 11 to 15, that she could use her body to get the things that she wanted from all the boys, all the adults, men in the neighborhood that would go for it. That's what she was doing. She was using her body to get the things she wanted from 11 to 15. Now at 15, it's told from Aileen, and other people kind of assume it's true, that her grandpa's friend who lived in the neighborhood did the R word to Aileen. And when he did, she became pregnant. 15, pregnant, and she's been a worker, an S worker, for some time. Her grandparents decide, because this was back in the day when women that were not wed went off to unwed mother homes. Her grandparents decide the baby's going up for adoption, and she's going to an unwed mother's home until she has the baby. A little bit crazy. So she goes to the unwed mother's home, and she decides that she wants to see her baby at least before the baby is given away, and she wants to name the baby. So here we're going to get into another weird, like, what? But Aileen named the baby after her brother. The baby had her brother's name at this point. The baby was given up for adoption, and Aileen went back home. Hey, Griswold. Aileen went back home to her grandparents' home. She stayed there only a couple months, and then her grandmother passed away, and shortly after, the grandfather kicked Aileen out of the house. I'm sorry, my phone's going off. Let me shut it off. So Aileen gets kicked out of the house. Again, she is, was it a boy? Yes, it was a boy. But the reason it's weird she named it after her brother is because her and her brother were having a sexual relationship at one point, and she was very much in love with her brother. He was her anchor in life. And hey, Linda Barker, I don't know if I said hello to you yet. So once she gets kicked out, she is 15, 16 years old. They lived in Michigan. And then begins to live in the woods. There was a place called the Pits where all the teenagers would hang out. And that was in the woods behind her grandparents' house. Now in Michigan, you got to understand, most people do, but the weather is a little bit warm, but it's like there may be a day or here there that's warm, but in the area that they were living in, it was mostly cold, really, really cold. And this is a 15, 16-year-old girl who is living in the woods at 15, 16 years old. So, she knows that she needs to survive and is a lady of the night to earn money and to survive. That is what she did, and I believe it's what she had to do at that time. Her friends, their families didn't really like her. She kind of had some anger issues, I would imagine so. But she had anger issues, so other parents didn't really want her around. But everyone in the neighborhood knew that she lived in these woods, and she lived there, and she worked the streets, and that's how she got through. About the time she was, I think, going on 20 years old, she decided to hitchhike. She didn't really have any solid friendships. She had friends, but she didn't have any solid friendships or any reason to really hang around that area anymore. So she decided to start hitchhiking, and her ultimate goal was to get to Florida. Warmer weather, nicer place to stay. So she begins hitchhiking, and along the way, she runs into, I'm not going to use names. It's going to be too complicated. I didn't write it all down, but she runs into this man, and her story is, this man she runs into is much, much older, and he ends up marrying her. And this is when she gets to Florida. It's kind of along her journey in Florida. She hitchhiked and used her body and all of that all the way to Florida. But once she gets to Florida, she meets this man, and he is much, much older. And she marries him. And I think she married him in thinking that she could stop doing the work that she was doing and just, be this man's wife. However, 9 weeks after marrying this man, he puts in for a divorce, stating that she was physically abusing him, even used his own cane to hit him with. So 9 weeks of marriage, and the marriage was over. At this point, she ends up in jail for some kind of petty crime stuff, thieving, things like that. And while there, she notices the lesbian relationships, because she never really paid attention to that before, is what she says, but she was introduced more to that in prison. But she didn't like that. She wasn't lesbian. She made it clear she wasn't lesbian. But shortly after that, she did end up meeting a girl in a bar. And her and this girl that night went home to the girl's home and spent the entire weekend together. And from that moment on, they never separated again during this situation. They were together all the time. But Aileen would go out and work and then come home in the evenings, and on the weekends she would stay off work with her girlfriend. Now, this is where the murders start to happen, because Aileen goes out to work one day, and a man picks her up. She would work the highways, and she was on the highway, and a man pulled over, picked her up. According to Aileen, he tied her up, was pouring alcohol in her mouth. He beat her pretty badly. He did some other things I'm not going to go into. But when she awoke, she managed to get untied. She managed to grab a gun that was there and shoot the man 2 times. She didn't report this because of the line of work she was in, but she did steal his car and take it home with her to the girlfriend's house. At this point, a day or so goes by and she needs to tell somebody, and she tells her girlfriend what she did. And her girlfriend does not turn her in. She just thinks it was a one-time thing. Something bad happened to her. We're just not going to talk about it. But they're driving around in the man's car. Okay? So Aileen continues to work the streets, but at this point realizes she doesn't want to do the S work anymore. She wants to just rob people. She doesn't want to use her body that way anymore. So she wants to just rob people. And from that moment forward, that's how she got money. And she killed another 6 men. One of those men was a police officer. Now, the police started to catch on that this may be all Aileen, but they also thought maybe there was 2 people involved. At one point, the vehicle that they were driving, which was a stolen vehicle, they wrecked it. They got distracted, went off the road and wrecked the car. People that were nearby at a house ran out, said they were going to call the police because it was a bad accident. And Aileen ripped the license plate off the car, threw it into the woods, and the 2 girls took off. At this point, sketches of the 2 girls were made, and the police really started to hone in on what was happening once they realized they had a stolen car of a dead man. So the police ended up setting up a sting operation, and an undercover police officer went into the bar that Aileen was at, and that's how they ultimately ended up being able to arrest her. Now, once she was arrested, the girlfriend was also brought in separately from her and questioned and things like that. The girlfriend ended up calling Aileen in jail and saying that she was going to go to jail for what Aileen did if Aileen didn't speak up. Now, all these phone calls are recorded, so the police are hearing this. The girlfriend then asked her, Aileen then says that she's going to go in and tell them what she did. She's going to admit what she did because she doesn't want anything to happen to the girlfriend. You have to realize up until this point in her life, she had her brother. Oh, I forgot a big part of the story. Her brother died prior to her starting her hitchhiking journey. Her brother died, I'm not sure how, unfortunately, but he died. So she lost her one anchor in life before she took off hitchhiking. Now, her and this girl have been together, and she would do anything for this girl. And this girl was her anchor in life then and had been, and she really loved her and would do anything for her. So Aileen wanted to go ahead and turn herself in and said that she had been a sex worker all along. Oops, is that the word? She had been that type of worker all along, and that the men that she did kill were men that had done something to her, and she only did it in self-defense. Aileen's story changes a lot throughout her court cases and jail stay and all of that. But so the girlfriend is not. Are we sure she didn't kill her brother? Yes, we're sure she didn't kill her brother. So ultimately, her attorneys didn't think she could even stand trial. She was very mentally ill, which isn't surprising. She came from families that had mental illness on both sides and tons of issues. Her father, as I said in the beginning, was in jail for the R word. Her mother took off and left them, and then added in the life that she lived as a child. That would cause trauma. The life she lived as a child would cause trauma too. So add that all together, it's not surprising that she was mentally unstable. A lot of the videos, documentaries, things you see, you can tell just by the way she acts, she's not normal, not your typical woman or person. However, she ended up receiving 7 life sentences. Now, at the time, there was a male serial killer who had committed way more crimes, and he did not receive the death sentence. So it's a little confusing why she did. But she ultimately received 7 years. And then there is something called automatic appeal that happens when you receive the death sentence. And during these automatic appeals, which were taking forever, and she was living her life in prison, she ended up on stand crying and asking the judge to please just stop the automatic appeals and go ahead and put her down. She admits that she is dangerous, that if she gets out again, she will do it again, and that she begged the judge to go ahead and have her death sentence completed. And so they did. And that is the story of Aileen. What do you all think? Do you think that her childhood contributed to who she was as a woman? Do you think that she could have changed if she had gotten help? Or do you think she was just born and bred to be a murderer? All right, let me go up through some of these comments because I just wanted to get that quick story out of there. Sorry, I'm kind of like moving fast. Johnny's Journey said, yes. Hey, Timmy Ray the King. Aisha says, wow, she needed help. Traveling Salvation says, nature, nurture. True. I think mom and dad messed her up, and she was a mean woman, and I did not want to pick up hitchhikers. No, I don't want to pick up hitchhikers either. I see that Uncle Lisa and Gina are hitting it off in the comment section while we're talking about serial killers. I mean, you know. Loving Life Hitched Up. Hello and welcome to the chat. Let me go back down here. I think mental health help could have saved her. Poor girl. Yeah, I believe if there was someone when she was younger who would have saved her from that. Now, this is when she was younger. If someone would have come in and saved her from that and gotten her the help she needed, there might have been a chance that it could have gone either way, even if she got help. But I think that her childhood and then everything she had to live through moving forward put her in the position she was in. I think it's interesting, though, when you see a story about a serial killer or someone who's done something really bad. It's kind of interesting to dive into their past and their childhood and kind of understand how they might have gotten where they were. I mean, there's a lot of clips of Aileen online, and you can tell she's not normal, but you don't really get a good understanding of how she got there. Oh, in the end, she did write a very long letter to God, and she was asking forgiveness for each and every one of her sins. There's also some weird story about this lady who wanted to come in and save her and be a part of fixing her and making her better, but the lady wasn't related to her, so she couldn't come in and see her in the prison. So the lady adopted her. Just saying. Another weird little thing there. Aisha says, I know that science says killers are born. I believe she needed help. I don't believe they should have killed her. I truly believe as an adult she could have been helped with proper supervision. I don't know if once she got to a certain point that help would have changed her. And I know that she didn't want to live in jail. It was too much for her. So I don't know how I feel about the death penalty part of it. I don't understand why there was a male's case at the same time and there was no death sentence. But on the female, she had the death sentence. So I don't really understand that. But I don't know if once she got to a certain point and was so traumatized and had all of those things happen, I don't know if they would have been able to turn her back around. She had a lot of problems. What was the result of the lady trying to help her? They connected over God and religion, and so that was how the lady wanted to help her, was kind of with her faith. And in the end, Aileen wrote a letter to God and asked for forgiveness for every single one of her. She listed her sins and she asked for forgiveness for all of them. I don't believe she should have ever been placed back into society, but I also don't believe they should have killed her. I believe only God should decide that. Yeah, I don't believe they ever should put her back in society. I don't know. I don't know if she would have changed. She should. I don't think she would have changed. I mean, so I don't ever think they should have put her back in society. I can't imagine her walking around the streets. Oh no. Are you hiding the bodies to keep the crime very low? Is this because you have not been found out yet? I have both eyes on you for sure. Strange name, dude person. Oh my goodness. Too funny. Really wonder if the girlfriend didn't have more to do with it. Ah, now that's a good question. Really wonder if the girlfriend didn't have more to do with it than let on. The girlfriend, from the interviews I've seen, the girlfriend says she knew all of it was happening. Well, she knew about the first one and assumed that there was many more, but was scared to say anything or do anything. So I don't think the girlfriend, this is going to sound bad, I don't think the girlfriend was smart enough to do it. Neither one of them were very smart, but I don't think the girlfriend had the smarts or capability of doing what Aileen had been doing. So I don't think the girlfriend was physically involved in the killings, but I believe that she was somehow involved in the theft parts of things, like the cars, because there were multiple cars taken from these men that she killed. I believe she was part of the cars and part of, pawning items, things like that. I believe the girlfriend was definitely more involved with that. The trauma of her childhood played a huge part in who she became. It seems she didn't know additional options were available. Yes. 100% yes. Oh, Valine Patina Payne, love you. Timmy Ray says, lost. Who kills who? Oh, Timmy Ray, we're talking about Aileen. Oh, I say her last name wrong again. Hold on. And it's Aileen Wuorno. Aileen Wuorno. She is the first female serial killer. We were kind of going over her childhood and the things that probably helped lead up to where she ended up. I'm saying girls can make dude nuts. Can you imagine what a girlfriend could do to a girlfriend? Just saying, take out the trash, do the dishes, rake the yard, cut the grass. See what I'm saying? Papa Drew, you're funny. You are too funny. Yeah, I can't imagine that. Aisha, yes, I do. I try to do true crime once a week. If not, then I do it at least once every 2 weeks. And I do live streams pretty often. We do trivia on Sundays. So, yeah. Timmy Ray, it's real. Her name is pronounced Aileen. Thank you. My brain just keeps wanting to switch it. But yeah. All right. So we're headed into the weekend. Move from true crime, unless anybody still wants to talk about it, then great, let's talk about it. But we're moving into the weekend. What are you all up to this weekend? What do you have going on? Also, how has your week been? Have you had a good week? No, Aileen. Oh, so no Aileen, it's Aileen. We all know I don't do English. Just saying. I love it. Do you know about Jennifer Rosen? I have heard of that. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember specifics about it, but I can look into that and try to cover that a little bit more if you want. Timmy Ray said, "This is my kind of stuff." Yeah, so what do you have coming up this weekend? How was your week? Papa Drew says, "We have swimming classes for the Great Dane. My wife is mad at me, nothing new, and is hot. Now I'm worried about being killed in my sleep." Thanks, Phoebe. I doubt that your wife is anything like her, like our topic today, or you wouldn't have married her. I did find it interesting, though, that she did try to marry a man that was older and could maybe financially take care of her. So it did seem like she tried to get out of that lifestyle, but still used her body and her looks, because she used her body and her looks to end up getting the man to marry her. You know what I mean? But because she was so unstable from her trauma and her life and all of that, she couldn't keep up the facade and lost him. So she did try to use her skills of working lady to get into a marriage where she could get money and not have to do that. So I don't know. Foster care and she killed one of the children. It was horrible. There's also another story involving children's services where the child was killed by her mother. I watched true crime as well. I will look into that a little bit more. You just do not know. The computer gets messed up and a reboot sometimes does not fix it. That is what I said about my first wife. Oh, man. So, what should trivia be this Sunday? Should we do a true crime trivia? Would anyone be interested in true crime trivia? Or would it be hard to do that, do you think? I don't know. I don't know. Timmy Ray the King says yes. So, I guess I could try and figure out what to talk about because my week has been kind of crazy and I'm not as organized as I usually am. But I do want to say I'm sorry that I missed my morning lives this week. Life has just kind of had a lot going on, and so it was easier and better for my mental and physical health to just kind of take the week off and deal with real world stuff. For anyone that knows what I was dealing with yesterday, it went pretty well. And I'd also like to say hello to the people that, this isn't all of you guys. There may be one of you in there that's this person, but hello to the people that are watching that I don't know why you're watching me, but hello. If that gives anybody a hint into my life lately. I have a few people that want to know about my life, so they're watching my YouTube channel now. Kind of uncomfortable. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. So that's a little bit of real world drama for you. Saw on the news just tonight that 2 children were murdered the other day by a family friend with a knife and a hammer, a 14 and 16-year-old. Oh, no. That's sad. That's devastating. I know there's a really popular true crime story similar to that, where a family friend, a man that this family had been letting stay with them off and on, he wanted to kidnap the little girl in the family, and so he used a knife and a hammer and murdered the entire family except for the little girl. And he took that little girl and kidnapped her. Now he's been caught. Maybe I'll cover that story sometime, but some of you might know the story I'm talking about because it's a pretty popular true crime story. But yeah, he murdered the whole family just so he could kidnap the little girl, and it was gruesome. Oh, lovely bedtime stories again. Just a quick hello and a big like from Ireland. Hey, Tanks. Yeah, we're kind of done with the story, so if you're just tuning in, you should be all right. Traveling Salvation says, it's okay. We don't want you to stress out to the point you start robbing people and stealing their cars and pawning their stuff. That's funny. No, I'm good. That's probably never, ever going to be something you're going to hear or see about me. Traveling Salvation, Uncle Lisa says, I've been robbing banks for years now. Oh, I may not be robbing banks, but I'm making a fortune on YouTube. So I hear. Tommy Travels, I used to take time off to eat cake, but then I got really fat and it sucked because I could not put on my socks. Then I found keto, but that sucks because meat cakes are just not as good. BB3, you know what my cousin Brandon said? But I have to talk to him about it. He said every time when I or someone tell him who passed away, he always said, 1 down, a lot to go. But that's all. 1 down, lots to go, huh? Oh, man. Traveling Salvation, you cracked me up. That was pretty funny. And then Uncle Lisa throwing me under the bus, telling people I rob banks. That's how I make my living, right? Gotta get money somewhere. It's better than me working the street, although I have heard that rumor before too. So you never know. You never know with me. It could be a horse, it could be a story about a horse, it could be a picture of a horse, it could be me working the street or being a millionaire on YouTube. We never know what kind of life BB actually lives. I've heard before that I'm CIA. I work for the CIA. That's what I've heard. I don't know. Traveling Salvation, all of the above. Uncle Lisa, no, stop, no horses, please. That's too funny. All of the above. It's my new life. I like to live it on the edge and do all kinds of crazy things. Papa Drew is an undercover cake tester, and he's freaking good at it. You are the Kardashians of YouTube. You know what's scary about that, Tommy Travels? I'm only one person, though. The Kardashians is a family. So if we put a lot of the rumors together, it's like I have multiple personalities that show up here on screen. There's not one of me. There's multiples. And that's not me being that way. That's the rumors. We're going to have more than one of me to fill all these rumors in. Trying to get to the lineup tonight. I know that I have. Oh, it's not on my new phone. Oh, that stinks. I used to have the lineup on my phone so I could look at it and then I would know who all's on tonight. Does anyone out there that's listening know the lineup for tonight? On who all's going to be live? I know for sure that there's going to be a campfire tonight, and those are always fun. Gets a little bit crazy sometimes. Campfires on Meant to Be RVing's channel. Lots of fun. BB3, my cousin Brandon talk about the Army intel stories. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Meant to Be is going to be live for the late night. I believe that's every Friday and Saturday that she does the late night, so it's pretty cool. Nomads365, hey, welcome to the room. If I didn't say hello to you earlier. And then Nomads365 is going to be on at 9 Eastern. Kenneth Oates is going to have trivia, or had trivia, or is having trivia. I don't know what time. Man, I wish I had my other phone now. Tommy Travels says, yes, James Cadnese, hey, welcome. Yes, New Horizons is on after me tonight. Hishop and Toe said, my lineup will be bed, sleep, then nightmare. Thanks. I've been having those nightmares that are waking me from my sleep, and then I'm like, I can't go back to sleep, because if I fall back asleep, I'm going to redream this. Or am I the only one that redreams the nightmares? That might just be a me thing. I don't know. I need opinions on that. If you wake up from a nightmare and you're still thinking about it and you go back to bed, do you redream it? That is the question. What did Tommy Travel say? Plus, take it from me, BB3, more likely to throw you in jail than rob a bank. That's true. I did throw Tommy Travels in jail. Because, oh, we can add that to my job line history, too. I am a deputy. Who would have guessed? BB3 the Rebel is a deputy. I love all my made-up personalities. They're great. James Catanese, a legend. Yes, he is. James Catanese is very, very kind and sweet man. Teresa does come on every Friday and Saturday. Traveling Salvation 350. Yeah. I'm the horse patrol on my I'm cracking myself up with my own jokes at this point. You know I'm kind of starting to lose it when I'm like laughing at my own jokes. But yeah, I'm the police. I'm the horse patrol. Everybody make sure to check out Nomad 365 at 9. And make sure after this, we're headed over to New Horizons and the campfire tonight. And I know there's other streams and I cannot remember them at the moment. I know the lineup for tonight, but I can't remember it at the moment. Beyond Beauty 3, she kidnapped, and I'm stuck in the closet like Daydream. Traveling Salvation said, mounted. I can't. I can't. Uncle Lisa said, James Catanese, laugh out loud, troublemaker. Oh, you guys are amazing. I love I'm telling you, I seriously try so hard to get to everybody's videos because I love all of you. Your channels are amazing. Your lives are awesome. I try really hard to get to all of them, but there's so many. I have to break it up and like go to these channels on this week, this channel on this week, these channels on this week, and like just spread it out as much as I can. But I really do try to get around to everybody. I just realized I said get around to everybody. Might have something to do with some of the rumors. I don't know. I'm just saying. Susan is after you, you silly muppet. That's what I said. New Horizons is after me. But, and then Nomad 365, and then Campfire. But there's other channels in there too. And I can't remember the lineup. Like the complete lineup. That's what I'm saying, Uncle Lisa. She gets her. Yeah. Apparently. I wish my millions from YouTube would start coming in, though. That'd be great. I'd live the high life. I wouldn't have to get around so much if I had my millions from YouTube. Nomad 65. We're not in the lineup. We're rebels. Gotta love being a rebel. See, I got a new phone. It was time for an upgrade. I didn't have to pay anything for it. I just got it, and then my bill stays the same and everything. Anyway, I don't know why I'm explaining that. Maybe for the people that are not supposed to be watching me that are watching me. I see you out there. Anyway, so when I transferred all my stuff over to my new phone, I thought that it transferred everything because I used the little wire. Put the wire from one phone to the other, and it's supposed to transfer all of your information. Well, it didn't transfer everything. It didn't transfer screenshots. It didn't transfer some of my notes that I had made. So it's like I have a mismatch of stuff on one phone and stuff on the other phone. So I need to figure out how to get it all over. After you get around to everyone, do you start driving their cars around? Because that's real smart. Oh, Aileen was not the brightest one in the bunch. I do not think that our serial killer of the night was the brightest one in the bunch. Unfortunately. As soon as we hit 1,000, we're buying an island. Traveling salvation. That's good stuff. I know that monetization. Got the word out. Yeah, I mean, you get so much money once you're monetized. I mean, as long as you have millions of followers and lots of people companies that want to send you products and stuff, sure, you can probably buy an island then. Traveling salvation. Let me on the island at once, you muppets. I come in peace. I promise I won't behave on the island. Too funny. Too funny. I'm like seriously coming on here as much as like I have stress going on and nonsense going on in my life. When I come on here and I talk to you all always make me smile, and you guys make my heart so happy. So I'm bummed when I can't make it to the live streams, but then as soon as I'm back on the live stream, y'all have a way of making me feel better. So I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Shinnicraft says, 1,000 Island? Traveling Salvation said, we can afford that. That's too funny. It will be an island of barbarians. Will there be horses on your island? Will you have police that ride the horses? Because if so, I'm your girl. Nomad 365 says, once you monetize, you make $3 a day. Try not to spend it all in one place. I laugh every morning when I get the report. I honestly, when I heard that rumor, I had to laugh. Obviously it's people that don't know how YouTube works. Nomadic Hippie, oh my God, you're alive and you're talking about my girl after girl. She often person right where I live, like maybe 100 yards away. What? She offed a person 800 yards away from where you live? What? Nomadic Hippie, we need to hear more about this. So Aileen, I knew she was from Florida. You're saying she offed a person right where I live, like 800 yards away. Tell us more. Uncle Lisa says, Nomadic Hippie, the heck? You dating serial killers? Do not pick up hitchhikers, Nomadic Hippie. Do not do it. He says, yeah, right there in Wildwood, and she had a hotel room that she often stayed in. Wildwood, also over in Orange County. She had another hotel she used to stay at too. Yeah, that was the thing that said that she moved from like motel to motel, lived on the streets or moved from motel to motel, and that her girlfriend cleaned motel rooms. But she couldn't hold down a job, so she would move from motel to motel, cleaning different hotels when she would get fired. There's not much to tell. She was kind of a working girl. Heard she didn't like men very much. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about at the beginning of this. But we talked about her childhood and kind of what led up to that. That's crazy, though, that close to where you were. So that stuff scares me when crime happens so close to home. I mean, I'm CIA and all, but I'm just a little unbrave girl. Unless I'm riding my horse and being a police officer or CIA. I'm very, very scared of the world. I don't like to leave the house. I don't. The world scares me. Leave hitchhikers alone. Just stick to hookers. Well, they call them lot lizards these days. Just saying. Or they may have another name for them. Because that actually was when I was a kid, like a teen. I knew they called them lot lizards. They may have named them something else by now. Southeast is kind of the freeway of serial killers. They all seem to come through there at some point. True. Listen, it's not that big of a deal. It's almost an everyday occurrence in the state of Florida. Oh, everyone wants to live in Florida. That's the problem. Everybody wants to live there, vacation there, be there because it's like beautiful. But when you put that many people in a place, you're going to have more bad people in that place. I said that in the most messed up way, but I hope you all understood what I was saying. Mother of Mons. Mons? Hey, Mons. It's so good to see you here. Thanks for coming. I've been missing you, as Uncle Lisa has as well, we see. Well, people, just assume she didn't like men just because she killed so many of them. I would have to agree. She probably didn't care too much for them. But, you know. Well, I was trying to be politically correct. A lot lizard working girl. Hey, Buckeye Kitty. So good to see you all too. Hi, Uncle Lisa. All right, I am going to. Is Happy Place still here? Happy Place Camping? Just looked at what she did as an unemployment situation. Well, that's what we were talking about with her childhood. I don't know if you know much about her childhood, Nomadic Hippie, but both her parents were mentally ill. Her dad was in jail for the R word. Her mother then dropped the kids off at grandparents' house, and grandparents adopted them, started to raise them. Grandpa abused her in the S way, and then there's a whole lot more to that, but she began to do that type. She realized her body could make her money at a very young age. She was, I think, 11. And then by the time she was 15, she was living in the woods, no place to go, and using her body to make money to survive. And then it just kind of escalated from there. Yes, if I were a dog, I would wag my tail profoundly right now that Mons is here, but since I'm not a dog, I have to behave. I can't. But it's great to see you, girl. Abby Camping said that she was on her way out the door. Okay, thank you so much. Hey, Thrifty Angela, Uncle Lisa's production. Can you put New Horizons link in the chat for us, please? Nomad365 said, wow. Yeah. If you didn't see the beginning, go back and check the beginning of the video, and I kind of go into more detail about her childhood and what she went through. I think that both her parents had mental illness, and then she went through this traumatic childhood. So I think all of that combined led to where she was in life. Yeah, I never knew much about her childhood and stuff. I know she used to work around the TA truck stop in Wildwood, knocking on truck doors, asking if you want company or not. Yeah. Good thing that nobody we know opened the door to her. Just saying. Because obviously you didn't open the door. You're still here. That's probably not a good joke. I'm not trying to make light of serial killers or things that happen, murders and things like that. My way of dealing with seriousness is to kind of laugh about it a little. I'm weird. We all know that. Thanks, Shanna. I had a great time hanging out with you too. Thanks for coming. Let me try to pull up this. I think, actually, hold on. Let me see if Nightbot will help me out here. You don't know. Here we go. That will link you over to New Horizons channel, and she is up next. It's not going to take you to her direct video, but it'll take you over to her channel, and she's coming on live next, and you don't want to miss it. So, thank you all. Seriously, thank you all for coming. Just chatting with you guys for an hour makes my heart happy and makes me feel better and a whole lot less stressed. So, all of a sudden, Nightbot is a Buddhist. You know, Casey Anthony has one that. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, thank you all. I really appreciate you being here very, very much. And I will be back on Sunday with some trivia. And I'll also be over at the campfire tonight and tomorrow. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Wishing you all much love and much kindness. Bye for now.